Hello, I'm Kylie Olsson from Life in Six Strings, and we are at the New Kings Road Vintage Guitar Shop with the main man himself, Rick.
How do you do? Lovely to meet you.
You
Thanks for
too.
coming.
I swear you have the best job in the world.
It's pretty good. I can't complain. Until I have to restring all the guitars. That's great.
Yeah, that can be a bit of a bitch.
That bit's not too good, but
No.
playing them all day long.
So why vintage guitars?
Something I kind of got into as I was originally a musician, and like all musicians, you want to top up your income sometimes when you're not playing. And I found buying and selling guitars a good way of making a few quid here and there, and it just grew and grew and grew. And then I started working at a shop, and 10 years later I owned a shop, and I've been here 25 years doing it. So
incredible. So I know that you've said you've got a few little gems that you'd like to show me.
Yeah, we've got a few bits and pieces.
Okay,
Start
come
with
on
this
then.
one. This is a 1958 Gibson Es-335.
Oh my God, that's
in Sunburst.
beautiful.
And it's in amazingly good condition for a 1950s guitar. I've seen reissue guitars that are 3 years old in worse condition than this. This thing is absolutely amazing. But this is kind of the top of the heap for a semi-acoustic. It's got the dot inlays, what's called the PAF pickups, stop tailpiece, all the features that have been since reissued, because this is the original. This is what they've made the copies from. But it's a great guitar. Plays good, sounds good, looks good.
So why did you want this guitar in your shop then? Why did it stand out
They're
for you?
incredibly rare. I mean, for instance, this guitar, they only made, I believe it's 267 of them in 1958. And this is in this condition. So what are the other 266 like? You hardly ever see them. This
and
thing
that's
is,
if they still exist, because
Exactly.
I guess some guitars, they get, destroyed.
tragically, yeah. I mean, I've heard of guitars getting wrecked in plane crashes, car crashes, burnt, house fires, that kind of stuff. So the number is, it's a finite number, but the number is forever decreasing.
Yeah.
So to find one in great shape from 1958, and it's one of 267, is very rare. That's why I love it.
Have we got the amp on? Shall I plug it in so we can have a little listen?
Okie dokie.
There we go.
Right. So they're the pickup settings. So when it's in this position, it's the back pickup, which is the more sort of trebly. Middle position is both.
Yeah.
And neck position is the kind of warmer,
Oh, wow.
jazzier sounding pickup. So,
God,
and
this
these
is
things are
incredible.
just brilliant. I mean, they're on so many records. But from that period when they came out, the 335 was really popular. They didn't make many of them, which is bizarre. They started gearing up production a lot more in the 60s, but in the 50s, it's that thing of like, we don't know if this is going to sell. Should we make thousands of them? Let's make a couple of hundred, and if they sell, we'll make a few more next year. But overall, just to find one in this condition, lovely.
Where did it come from? What was
It
the
was
story?
actually in the UK.
Was it?
From a collector I know, has a couple of guitars, and he's just decided to sort of rationalise the collection, which happens. So sometimes people have 10 guitars, will say, I'll get rid of 2 or 3. And it's a high ticket value, so it's a good cash investment with a good cash return on it. So I think that's why it's.
Do we talk money? What kind of how much roughly would that cost?
This one's going to be around 30,000.
I was going to ask you if I could hold it, but I'm a little bit scared now.
How would Madam like to pay? Go on, have a go.
I'm pretty nervous about holding it. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Surprisingly not too hard to hold. Oh.
Very good.
Oh, it's got such a beautiful tone to it.
Big and rich and warm.
Yeah.
It's like that's what semi-acoustic quality.
That is gorgeous. So is that it's got a hollow body to it
Yeah,
then?
it's a semi-acoustic.
It's a semi-acoustic, yeah.
So you've got effectively, there's a centre that runs down here. So this bit's all solid.
Yeah.
And these are the wings. So they resonate, and that gives you that warm, rich, big sound to it.
Wow.
The Les Paul is this, but solid.
Yeah.
If you put on wings, it's like a 335.
Right, that makes perfect sense. I love it. Brilliant. Okay, what else have we got?
I'll show you something else. Right, it's of the same family.
Yeah.
Very similar, but very different. Now this
Okay.
is, you know what it is because you just played one. This is a Gibson Es-335. Yeah. It's a year later than the other one. This is 1959. It's in factory blonde finish. Now, basically, they made a handful of these. There's only 17 of these in blonde finish. No, absolutely not. The sunburst finish. Yeah. And they did sunburst, cherry, and blonde. The blonde natural finish is by far the rarest, and to find it in this condition as well. This is actually a notch up to the 58.
The 58.
And it's a 59.
So how did they change? Did they make any other alterations to it?
Not at this point.
Right,
that comes a little bit later. By the end of 62, they're changing the specifications of it. They have block markers on it instead of the dots. The pickups become what's called PAFs, that become patent number pickups. And eventually the stop tailpiece is replaced by a thing called a trapeze bridge, which kind of floats.
I know what you mean.
So this period, this is about as rare as they get. Now, monetarily.
Yes, okay. Well, the other one was 30,000, so if I'm guessing.
What are you guessing?
60?
Very close. It's actually worth more.
Okay, how much?
More like 70.
Okay, not bad. Wow, that's impressive. I'm getting good at this, Rick. You better watch out.
It should, yeah.
Okay, let's have a listen.
It's going to sound pretty similar to the other because it's got the same, little bit fatter, this one.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
And on the neck pick, it's a bit more jazzy. So it's, again, they're my favourite sounding pickups. These things are, you sometimes see the pickups for sale on the market from guitars that have been trashed or whatever. These pickups alone are worth about between £5,000 and £10,000 just for the things that make it work. So, you know, it's a very, the parts on this guitar are
beautiful. So when you get these guitars, sometimes are they in bad condition and you have to restore them? And like you say, you'll end up buying the original pickups because they haven't got the original pickups or something like that?
That's a problem. In the 70s, other pickup manufacturers were coming out and they were making very powerful, hot roddy kind of, you know, like heavy metal pickups. That was what they turned into. So people
pimped their guitars and destroyed them.
They used to take these pickups off and chuck them away. Don't need those. I'll put in some nice DiMarzios or Seymour Duncans or something. Totally killing the value of a vintage instrument. You know, the pickups are the engine of the guitar. Yeah. So reality is there's so many guitars out there that have had parts or bridges changed. Sometimes these things wear out and people just go, oh, they don't understand the vintage collectible aspect of it. They just put on a new bridge, a new tailpiece, new pickups, new tuners. So,
and you're like, yes, I would have given you £60,000
and now I'll give you six. No, unfortunately.
If you hadn't thrown away that bridge,
Well, it's happened, unfortunately. I mean, people have bought stuff in that's been totally Frankenstein, you know. Yeah. Everything just taken off it, and there's all you've got basically left is the wood.
So how can I have a little hold of it?
Of course you can.
I'm scared now.
Okay. It's only
even more scared than I know, even more scared than the other one. But are vintage guitars becoming extinct in a way or not? Or are you? I mean, there's people like you, obviously, that are helping keep them alive.
Well, the market is very big. I mean, it's an international market. You've got a big home market in America, because obviously that's where they're made. The Japanese are very big collectors. I have some very big European collectors, Germany, a couple of guys in Norway, Holland, that kind of thing. So are you from the school of you think these machines they should be played or should they be in a cabinet? I hate trophy hunters. You know, is that what they're called? Yeah, stuffed head on the wall. You know, put it in a glass case and don't even look at it. You know, that's nonsense. Every guitar should be played, plugged in, used. It's a musical instrument. It's not a stuffed head. I agree with you. Oh my God. That's great. Oh, God, it's just so beautiful. It's so rich. That's it. And I would have always thought this would have been too big for me, actually, but it's not at all. No, it does, and they're not too heavy as well.
No, they're not, because it's cut out.
It's not that. I mean, Les Pauls can be heavier than these things, you know. But I'd say pretty much as an example, this is about one of the best I've ever had of this particular guitar.
Right, okay.
I've probably had 3 or 4 others in the last 35 years, but this is a real peach.
That is. Good find. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, you.